Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm here with another video. Today's video will basically be focused on college interviews. So the interviews I'm referring to specifically are those that you are asked to partake in when you are applying to colleges, and they want to see who you exactly are in person, and this goes beyond the application process. So I won't exactly explain my experience per se, but I will tell you the advice I have for you based on my experience itself. So it's not a story time, so I won't really go into the details of my interview, but back in 2014, I had an interview with Princeton University.
Oh my God! Wow!
So I was in 12th grade, I applied to Princeton, I applied to a lot of places on the East Coast, like Ivy Leagues and such, and UCs in California. I'm a California native. So number one, it is very important that you know exactly what this university or college stands for. You want to know the background details. You might want to know stories about them, how well they do, and stuff of that nature. You kind of want to have an insight on the school itself, because that will automatically show that you have this interest that is deeper than the school's name and so forth. You know, it could be the randomest stories, it could be how well the school does in terms of numbers, how well the sports teams are, and stuff like that. You kind of want to indulge in the culture of the school and the city it's in, the town it's in, whatever. So you want to have very good insight on the school itself, because it will make it seem that you know a lot about the school. Maybe you've looked into it over time and you're basically invested into the school, and that'll basically increase the culture of the school if you were to get accepted. Number two, during the interview, they will most likely ask you other schools that you're applying to, and usually what happens is you're probably not shooting in the dark, so a lot of the schools that you apply to are of very similar caliber. So for example, I was applying to Princeton. At that time I was applying to Cornell, Columbia, Stanford, schools like that, very top tier, and one school looks at another as competition. So the person asked me why I would choose Princeton over another competing school if I were accepted to more than one. And this question, for a normal person, you would kind of anticipate it. I wasn't necessarily anticipating it. So I tried to give the best answer I could, but it definitely caught me off guard, and I'm sure the person interviewing me caught that. So it's very important for you to understand why each school is good for you, and how each school is unique in a way where if someone were to ask you the same question, you would be able to answer why one school is better than another. And it's better to not beat around the bush or say something that you like one school better than another or what have you. You need to have a very straight and concise answer on why you would take their school over another when they're both just great schools. So you need to go beyond academics, probably even beyond sports. You have to make a good pitch on why one's better. And you will obviously need to know each school very well to make this pitch, because they'll know if you're just beating around the bush or making something up that doesn't necessarily answer the question, or is just not good enough for you to make a distinction. You know, if you're applying to, let's say, UCLA and USC in Southern California, and they ask you why you would choose one over the other, and you don't want to say something stupid like, oh, one's in LA or one is a public school and one's a private, unless you have a good reason behind that distinction. You don't want to talk about the weather. You know, there's a lot of things that you could say that might not make any sense whatsoever, And both are great schools, so you can't say necessarily that, you know, I'll choose this school because it's great, because like the other school is just as great. So you have to have a very good pitch and hand at what each school stands for, and it kind of ties back to the first factor where you need to know your school very well. And if you know it well enough, you would easily compare your school that you're interviewing for to another school. The third piece of advice that I would give you is to stay calm. It is very serious. It is a very serious moment in your life. It's gonna change your life forever. When, like, no matter where you go, your life is gonna change. It's very different to be in college than being in high school. So, as important as the moment is, it is very important for you to stay calm. You don't want to be nervous. You don't want to be jittery. They are writing everything you say, and obviously they are trying to make you sound as great as possible. But it is important for you to be able to be calm, because if you're not calm, then you're just gonna be rambling. You're gonna say stuff that might not be as calculated, and so forth. So you want to be calm. You want to be collected. You want to give the best answers you can, but you also don't want to sound like a robot. You want to be as you want to give as much personality as you can to the interviewer, so it kind of brings out who you truly are. I know it's very serious to be in an interview of any sort, and especially at this level. So it's easy to get nervous and be very sheltered. You don't want to be too comfortable, but you don't want to be so serious that kind of kills the vibe of the moment and who you are as a person, because they do want to know who you are. You know, they are usually gonna be alumni from that school. At least in my situation, it was like a alum of Princeton, not a faculty. So it, you know, is somebody close in age and stuff like that. So you don't want to get too comfortable, but at the same time, you don't want to be so serious. So another detail that goes into that is that you want to be polite. They are keeping track of who you are. They are writing notes down. So you don't want to come out with this like weird energy. You don't want to be rude. You want to be as polite as possible. Don't take it too far, but definitely be polite. So the fourth thing, you do want to plan this out. This is very important. It's a very important moment. It's a very important interview. So you want to have it planned out. You do not want to be late. You want to make sure you have a ride. You want to make sure you know how to get there, or your driver knows how to get there. It's very important. You do not want to make any minor mistake before you even get to the interview. You don't want to be late to the interview. You don't want to get lost on the way and stuff like that. So it's very important that you plan it out. It is a very big moment, and it could easily determine how your evaluation goes during the interview, and can easily affect your entire life. The fifth thing to mention, so it is going to be somebody, most likely an alum, so this might be the perfect opportunity to figure out if this school is actually for you. So I know you should not make it about the interviewer, but in this case you might want to have some sort of insight. So instead of having it be a full-on interview of you, maybe it could be somewhat of a conversation, so you gain more information about the school itself in terms of a student's view on how things are, how dorms were, how the education was, how the professors were, grading, campus, the city, places in the city, everything. So this is a perfect moment for you to get a really good insight on the place itself. So I think you should definitely take advantage of it. Don't ask so much that it becomes about the interviewer. So you definitely want it to be focused on you, but it definitely does not hurt for you to get more information through this interviewer, because it's very firsthand, and there's a good possibility if the school is far away, this is the first time you're meeting somebody personally that actually went there. So definitely take advantage.
6 hours later.
So that is pretty much all I have. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I have made other videos regarding college, even law school, so please check those out. Some links might be in the description. Outside of that, thank you guys all for watching.